Hi, everybody. We're having a little chat with some ambassadors here in the town hall. Town hall's here for everyone to come along and ask questions. Carl's here, Carl's doing a lot of the CTO work. We just had a request from one of the ambassadors to add Vietnamese to the languages on the events, and Carl's doing that live. Grace Johnson's here, the amazing woman that's pulled all the hub stuff together. And we've also got Dennis and Haskmut. Okay, this is a bit of a Q&A. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also, also recording it. So we'll put it back up on YouTube as well. So a little bit of a Q&A. And one of the things that we're talking about is there's good news. We are 2 months away from the end of the festival. Now, when I got married, someone asked me, what's the best thing about being married? And it was, I didn't have to plan a wedding anymore. The best thing about the last day of the festival, Ovi, I don't have to plan a festival anymore. Dennis and Haskell, have you got any questions, anything you want to talk about, anything that might be useful to kind of share wider? Also, if any ambassadors are watching this or anyone else from the festival that wants to jump into the town hall, it is an open format for everyone. Please do jump in. So, ambassadors.
Yeah, so thanks, Scott. So I saw the speaker list. I was going through that, and I was also another question was, how do I pick a speaker? I mean,
let me.
What is the criteria?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. So last week we had a bit of a discussion, and as you know, with Agile, we look at cognitive biases. Okay, so cognitive biases are a great thing to research because as we're designing computer systems, sometimes we don't think what other people will be thinking. So as I looked at the speaker list, right, it was very easy for me to understand who the speakers were and like what their background was. And then Carl said to me he'd never heard of these people, and yeah. I'm like, you've never heard of these people? And then I realized that if Carl's been in Agile for about 15 years and hasn't heard of some of them, then other people around the world might not have heard. So Carl's launching a new speakers list, okay, and the ambassadors will get more access to more data. And in the access to data, there's more details in there about what they want to speak about. There's also links to some of their previous talks, and there's also their contact details, and there's also their LinkedIn details. Okay, so you can check them out on LinkedIn, look at the kind of things they've talked about in the past. If you're in a newer part of the world that isn't very Agile, kind of sophisticated, and you don't know much, one of the things I would do is try and make think of a theme for the event or something you'd like to do, and then reach out to the speakers and kind of co-create with the speakers. So explain that maybe it's a new area that people are less aware of Agile. So I'll give you an example. So let's say we pick Dave Snowden in Cynefin, right? He teaches complexity theory, okay? And sometimes it's like drinking from a fire hose, okay? Many people have said to me, when Dave is in full throw, it's like an expert talk, yeah?
Okay.
So if I was going to get Dave to come and talk about complexity, I would say you're going to be talking to people that have never, that don't know anything about where you're at. So start at a lower level, or maybe you're an ambassador from a different part of the world, and people are a little bit more further in the fluency, and want that talk. If I was an ambassador and I wasn't sure who some of the speakers were, what would I do? I might think about, let's just really think. So I'd probably Google some of the speakers to try and understand them a little bit more. So that's just common research. Okay.
Yeah.
I would try and think about what topics or things might be of interest, to the people in my area. Yeah. So it might not be, if you're new to Agile, it might not be the advanced topics. If you're in a fluent place, you might want to have more of the advanced topics. So and again, a little bit of that is trying to understand, what people will be interested in. The other thing you can do is contact any of the trustees, right, to say, look, here's what I'd like to do. Yeah. In fact, contact me and just say, here's what I'd like to do. Have you got any advice? So, so we can interpret the speaker directory for you. But just into context for that, the speaker directory is really as a help. And if I were doing events, if I were you, I would try and maybe do a couple of events in my country. One would be maybe using some of these big speakers that would probably charge about 3,000 UK pounds, yeah, to talk, if they were talking at a large company, but they're offering their time for free.
So Scott, it's worth hearing that actually some of them would charge about $10,000 because I'm on Speakers Network. So the opportunity here is astonishing that these people have given their time. So people need to pick up on it.
Yeah. So I think I dropped this out to all the ambassadors, but it's probably worth saying. I would, as well as doing some of these larger speakers, I would get some local discussion and local fresh voices from your country. And perhaps people sometimes have imposter syndrome. So they think that they're not good enough. And if we make it all about big names coming from America, yeah, then that's not actually helping the local community. Yeah. So again, it's a little bit about celebrating those people. So I remember 15 years ago in Glasgow, well, 10 years ago in Glasgow, there was a handful of people doing Agile. Yeah. And we all met in the pub. And sometimes, then when we started the Edinburgh meetup on Agile, I think sometimes there were like 3 people. 3 people, a pad of post-it sticks and a pen, okay, talking about Agile. And now these things have grown to big meetups and lots of companies are interested. But the origins of the community are really back there to a few people talking about how can we make things better. So we don't want to lose that. So getting that local debate's great. The other thing you can do is lean coffee. Yeah. And again, lean coffee is quite good because it democratizes things. So if you don't know how to do a lean coffee, look online, Google it, it's all there. Because workshops are quite fun. So if you can, so maybe as an ambassador, if I was in a very new country, I wouldn't try and get the community to do something. Yeah, I would maybe host something for them. But I might want to do a couple of events. I might want to do a lean coffee where people can come and talk. I might want to get a speaker event, get big speakers in, and I might want to do a fresh voice talk.
Yeah.
If you are doing, and this is something that I think is quite important, if you are doing a panel debate, right? So if you are getting a lot of people together, try and make sure that there's diversity there. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, it's going to be more interesting for the speakers as well. Yeah. But if, I mean, if you just had like Carl and I on a panel debate, there's not much diversity there, you know?
Yeah.
Two fat blokes from Edinburgh talking about stuff. So so in the list as well.
Don't put yourself down, Scott.
Well, imagine you meet Craig. It's like three fat middle-aged blokes from Edinburgh. It's like nobody needs to see that. Again, always try and have a variety.
Absolutely. I like the idea of identifying a few themes that resonate locally, and then looking for the appropriate speakers along those lines. I think that's probably a good approach.
To do a little survey. Yeah.
Yes. So Scott, I was speaking with Nchimunya, the ambassador for Zambia, and we had something of the same line per se. Having that we've noted that most startups are the ones who are actually trying to use Agile. We can actually get maybe the local ones, then we can now have small talk. So if we get some 2 or 3 startups, either get their PMs or even if it's a developer who they're currently using Agile in any form of the word Agile, they just come in, we hear what they have to say, so that even guys know, okay, we have this company, it's even doing it, and so forth. So that was part 1. Part 2 was I can host an event and Hashmu can actually be the speaker. So I can even have a list of questions, having that he has a lot of experience and so forth. Then we do that. having that it's a local event.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yes, and even we can do the same thing to Nchimunya. So she can come and host me, having that I'm African, then just to push that African agenda there, that yes, in Africa it's growing, something of the sort. So that's what we were thinking of.
I like that, and I like the fresh voices aspect of it. One of the things that I'm kind of worried about, well, it's not worried about, but it's having like the ambassadors talking to the ambassadors. So we really want the local community and not just the ambassadors talking to ambassadors. So I think we've had a kind of some events where there's been lots of ambassadors at them. Yeah. So for the festival, we'd actually like to talk to get the community talking and not just the ambassadors. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense, because the plan was the ambassador talk is for January, so that we now push this emphasis that the festival is coming. We want your voices to be heard. We need your experience and so forth. But just to start up things, we can have Grace come on board. She just talks a little bit. If it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes, then maybe you can just come in. Just a talk. So that guys actually.
No, let's try and get the local community in your country, to talk. Use some of the external speakers, but also find voices in your country of people doing it, and try not to use the ambassadors. Yeah. And try not to use
localize
for anyone. Okay. If
You're already the top person in the country. You don't need anyone from outside. We're here to support you, but not speak for you.
Yeah.
Dennis, did that upset you?
No. No, it's okay. My thinking was we just, in the aspect of advertising what Agile 20 is, then ambassadors can actually come in and just talk a little bit. It's not for the festival. It's just to tell guys, even if it's having like a Q&A or something. But I've understood what you mean. So I'll see how to do, yes.
I mean, look, I had an idea. I was thinking about going into university and just talking about Agile from scratch. I think we start making an impact at that level. So these are the kinds of things that I was thinking in my mind, that, we drive some awareness and drive some local excitement. Obviously, that's going to happen
a workshop rather than talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get their ideas. Yeah. Have you heard of Liberating Structures?
No.
Right. Have a Google at that. Maybe we should add that into the ambassador list. But it's there's an app called Liberating Structures, and basically Liberating Structures is something like 70 different workshop techniques that are mostly agile that you can use.
Okay.
The other thing is the speaker list. Definitely talk to companies in your country and say, how would you like an international speaker to come in?
Yeah.
That would normally charge you 10,000, and they'll come and talk to your software team or your business team.
Yeah.
That's amazing value.
That's amazing. Absolutely.
Dennis, you're looking worried.
I'm okay. Okay,
if it helps, I'm quite a shy person. We run meetups in Edinburgh, and I try to stay in the background a little bit. I'm a bit of an introvert, but for the festival, you probably noticed I've had to kind of stand up and make videos and do things, and I'm like the global ambassador. So I'm talking to everybody, and I'm not comfortable with it. Yeah, but I've had to be. So again, it's a good opportunity for you to be there as the facilitator, as the ambassador, as the farmer, almost, planting seeds. Yeah.
That's really interesting, because I don't like public speaking either, but I have to do it. The problem is that no one else can speak your words for you.
Yeah. So the other thing is, there's enough of us in the center, enough experienced people, that if you have an idea for an event, we can talk to you about it and help you shape it. Yeah.
Okay.
And we could even practice it. So in the Edinburgh Heart of Agile meetup, we will practice events before we do them, just so we're comfortable.
Yeah.
And the other things is we can help you with, if you want to put an event in the central meetup, we can help host it if you don't want to use Eventbrite, and if the local groups haven't got anything to to advertise in, we can help there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, the theme is bringing people together, and sharing views. So the more views we can get from your countries, record them and put them into the archive, then the more we'll know from the world. And that's your country, that's Peru, that's Colombia, that's Vietnam, that's Taiwan, that's everywhere, all the views. Yeah. So the max, the minimum you need to do is one event. Okay. But have fun. Don't stress yourself. And if you need help, ask. And this is this is for everyone. Okay. Don't stress yourself. If you need help, ask.
Sure.
Thanks. This is probably only hard because the first time we've done it. Yeah. The thing is, this is a little bit like in the UK we talk about pop-up restaurants and things that might just be there for one thing. Because this is a pop-up thing, everyone's a little unsure. I'm unsure. I've been having lots of imposter syndrome about this. Who am I to try and organize this festival was the first thing to get over. And then panicking about, well, what if this festival isn't good? So I'm having lots of doubts as well. So face into your doubts. Grace, do you want to talk? I'm guessing that you're not someone who loves the spotlight as well, are you?
You noticed. Yes, I don't really like the spotlight. I prefer being in the background working. Hasmukh, I think the idea of going to students is a good one. We have, there was I think a fresh undergraduate from Nigeria that actually approached me and wanted to do an event. I think she has quite a large number of network of her age, and she would like speakers. She wanted to host an event, and she would like to have speakers come and talk to the students. Like, they've taught them a lot of project management, and that's how it was for me in university. We're taught a lot of project management, but nothing really about Agile. I didn't really know anything about Agile, not until when I wanted to write my PMP. So I think it's a very good idea. It's a virtual event, so it's very easy to gather students in Africa. I don't know if it's the same in Kenya. I think we can create a flyer to that effect, do a mass publication. They would want to just tell them it's the it's the future of work, as Seth would say. It's the future of work. It's the work now. Due to the lockdown in the world, people have gone virtual, and Agile is actually what is actually helping a lot of companies to keep working while still on lockdown. I think if we can pass that message across, we can get quite a number of students. And you're telling them you're bringing people from, world-class speakers. You're also mixing with local voices, well-known local voices, and even those that are really coming up. It's really going to be huge. I think we should, as Africans, we should start from there. If we cannot begin, if we can't begin to go to the organizations and begin to encourage them, let's start from the students. If we can start from there and begin to help them change the mindsets, it's going to be really great.
Yeah. Lots of project management training, institutions,
a whole lot.
Good places to slot in a half-hour session, and it becomes impactful. I think that's what I was thinking, that it needs to be locally impactful, that we start opening people's minds, young people's minds, and stuff like that, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm here to support. I'm here to help. I could just invite the students in Nigeria as well to come to your event. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's a plan.
I mean, look, we don't need to restrict ourselves to project management, even marketing organizations. I mean, I look at it, we are putting ourselves in a box when we just talk about software development and project management. It's an HR thing, it's a marketing thing, it's a business thing. I think we should be approaching all these people.
Yeah, I mean, I do business transformation.
Yeah.
I know about software development as well and DevOps, but the last 5 years I've completely focused on business transformations. In fact, I did an interview for one of the big marketing organizations recently about how Agile affects marketing departments and how it changes where they sit within the organization and the authority they have.
Yeah.
Gives them a chance to actually guide the direction instead of respond to it. So I think that there's lots of different ways into organizations to help them adopt Agile, but also to actually gain the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carl, I was actually talking to somebody over the weekend, and this popped in my mind. He's in the banking sector, and I was encouraging him to come up with an event. Since you're very good, you've done business agile transformations. I was thinking of an event for the banking sector in Nigeria. How can agile transformation help in service delivery in Nigerian banks?
Okay, I mean, there's quite a few people that are involved with this festival who have been involved in banking agile.
Okay.
But I think maybe we should tip it around and maybe ask what are the problems instead of saying, do you know, a lot of the time with talks involving agile, I get the feeling that we're having a conversation about a sales pitch. And actually what people need is some idea of what they're going to gain.
Okay.
So maybe let's talk about the format a bit here, that we can actually help people rather than people go away going, oh, that's really interesting, but I can't use any of it.
Okay.
Grace, having that, I'm in the banking sector, and I'm actually trying to push that whole agenda for Agile to change how everything is actually working. So how my end,
yeah.
I'm assuming banks are banks across.
Yeah, all bankers are bankers.
We could
Not
do it for
entirely true, because banking in China and banking in Russia is different.
Yeah.
So there are cultural differences as well in the Middle East.
So let's go to the speaker directory, and this is the public facing one. It's not you'll get to see more details, right, of the speakers. But you know, here, you know, there's what people want to talk about, and you know, what you know, the kind of events they'd be interested in. So like giving a talk, lightning talks are where you maybe get a couple of speakers to do really short talks, and they can be quite interesting. And a bit especially good for new speakers. So we call them lightning talks. Panel debates is maybe where you get a few people involved and say, you know, what can banking learn from Agile? And that's quite interesting if you want to get your chief executive officers or your management from your bank there, because they'll probably want to talk to, you know, these kind of high level people. I mean, other things, you know, you could do Q&A sessions where you just open up to the audience to say, what questions would you like to ask the speaker? You could have, I mean, again, you could have a banking themed event, you could have a student theme event, you could do various things. And again, as a host or someone hosting, you're not trying to push a company or a company name, okay? So ethically, we're just there as part of the community. So, okay, so, you know, I've been here, Carl's been here, you know, which companies do we work for? We don't know, because there's nothing on here. There's nothing on here about any of the companies we work for or anything that we do. Yeah. And that's the same with, you know, if you look at meetups around the world, lots of people host meetups and things, and they're doing it for the community, not for their company. No, we're not pushing a brand name or anything. So that's important as well. Yeah. So
it's really about inclusion. And once you start mentioning companies, people get protective. You can't really share the same kind of level of detail if you're talking to a competitor. And that's why they do. So in the UK, they do something called Chatham House rules, which is it's actually as if you're talking in front of royalty. You can share a lot more, but people have to respect what you share.
Yeah, and
not report it.
Yeah, this is important for all ambassadors. And we've had some feedback that some people won't get involved in the companies because it's in the areas, because some ambassadors are competitors, right? Well, in the community, we don't have competitors. We're all here just to, experiencing and understanding Agile. We're all here to lend a hand and help everyone up. Okay, so it's not a case of I'm an ambassador with a company, so nobody else, and I'm spotlighting my company, and or nobody else in my country will want to get involved because I've got a competitive position. Yeah, this is an open space. This is neutral. It's all free. Yeah.
And the other thing is that no one person has all the answers. I've never delivered transformation by myself. I have to work in a team with other people, and I have some insights, but I couldn't have delivered it by myself. So we need to move away from the expert culture and going to the one person. Definitely for creators and innovators, people who've actually done something, we go, wow. But actually, you really want to hear many voices.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say I was looking down this list. I've never met Daniel Eder, right? I don't know who he is. Okay, but he wants to talk about leadership, Agile in general. He wants to do these things here. It might be that I want a German talk. So he says he can talk in German, in German, so that's good. So what I'll probably do is just Google him. Sorry. It's one of those, it's still early. So Daniel Eder. And I may put Agile in. I might check, see if I got that right. Eder, yeah. So I'd probably do Daniel Eder, Agile in, and chances are most of our speakers will have a website. Okay, so here he is. I can get a little bit about his background. As an ambassador, you'll also have his LinkedIn, so you can kind of have a look at his LinkedIn profile. So I might think, well, that's interesting. Okay, and then over here on LinkedIn, here he is. We're going to have a look, and yeah, so we'll get some more information. I can see the kind of things he posts. I can see what he's been involved in and things. So I might think, well, yeah, this guy sounds like he'd be good in the panel or good to talk to. Yeah. So I'll just contact him. Yeah. Let's go back to the list. Let's pick someone else. Michael Sahota. There we go. Okay, Michael Sahota. He's got a Twitter account. He's on LinkedIn. He's got lots of videos. So he's used to talking. So the Agile mindset, don't leave home without it. An interview with Agile culture, so there's, I can understand a lot about him. Let's say I go back to the list, and let's say, let's search. Let's say I wanted to do a woman in IT talk. So I can search, and yeah. So here's Padmini. So I can, again, Padmini. And I can go and look in here and search for Padmini. And again, Padmini's done lots of talks. So if I wanted to do one about, maybe like, women in Agile in Nigeria, for instance, Grace, no hints. Yeah, but Padmini's there. So, and again, if I see a speaker that's got lots of videos and that's great, because I can have a conversation. See that talk he did about such and such. It might be, that's a theme we might be interested in. So, does that make sense?
Yep, great stuff.
So one of the things in the list that the ambassadors see that no one else does is how many talks people have done. So you'll be able to see the fresher voices and the more experienced voices. Yeah. What I would suggest is balance it. And this is to every ambassador. Don't just pick talks with, very experienced voices. Mix it up. But my biggest concern is that we've got all these speakers to volunteer and nobody uses them. So I'm kind of giving you thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, and you're not spending them.
Yep, it's a pity.
Anything to add on that one, Carl?
No, it's hopefully the full version will go into the ambassadors area today. It's going into the ambassadors areas for information protection, because obviously we don't want these people to be inundated. I think we have told them that to contact us when they've had enough, because they may well get hit by 20 people asking for the same day. But it's up to them. They volunteered themselves. They need to tell us when they want to come off the list. But apart from that, it's go for it. They actually want to help.
Yeah, so they've volunteered their time for free to help.
Yes.
So it's not like you're going to bother them if you contact them.
Yeah.
Some of them are writing to me to say, I'm on the list and nobody's contacted me. There's nobody in the world want to hear from me. And they're beginning to get paranoid.
Yeah.
There's Sam Zawadi of Agnostic Agile. Again, I would imagine almost everyone you're going to Google on that list, has a background and a following. Yeah. The other thing is Scrum Alliance, PMI, and everyone else are also saying to their people to help you get events. So if you've got a PMI chapter in your country, right, they've been told by Scott to come along.
Yeah.
So again, we're going to be messaging out through Scrum Alliance, Agile Alliance, and the others to to talk. In fact, I think. So yeah, I thought maybe Scott Ambler was there as well. But yeah, great speakers, great resource. So the other thing I wanted to show you was Liberating Structures. So Liberating Structures there's a website, there's an app, there's a book, and basically it's lots and lots and lots and lots of workshop ideas. So a user experience fishbowl. So a fishbowl is quite fun. I did that in Mexico City. It's where you get a couple of people talking, and one person needs to leave talking for the other one to come in. The beauty is all of these things are explained, and if you Google them, chances are that someone's worked out how to do it remote. In the post-COVID world. Troika Consulting, Wise Crowds, and things. They're all different techniques. Conversation Cafe. They're all great techniques that we can use. And the other thing is Lean Coffee. So what we'll do is on the ambassador guide, we'll add another section on these kind of easy techniques that you can pull off the shelf and use. And if you need any help, we could probably get like another meetup organizer who's done thousands of meetups to come and help you. Yeah.
Yep.
We want to fire hose you with help. This is what the town halls are for as well. So thanks very much for coming along. And if more ambassadors can come along, we can we can help as well.
So this day and time works for me perfectly. So I'll try and make sure every Tuesday I'm on the call.
Yeah, and maybe the other thing I want to talk about is we've got the meetup here, the central meetup. So if you don't have a meetup and you don't want to start a meetup just for this one festival, we can put it in the we can put it in here. Talk to Grace or Carl or I, and we can put a meetup here and we can advertise it. I haven't looked at the festival lately. Any changes here, Carl?
Just that it now automatically goes to February, and that we were having problems with people putting in the wrong dates, so it's now locked into February only that the dates can be. I've also gone through the items without any pictures and put pictures in, because some people respond to text and some people respond to pictures. Just to say, people have already raised the issue about in the month view, you can only see the first 3 items, which is correct, but this calendar function is really, really powerful, and you can slice and dice the data to actually find the bits you're interested in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the search here is quite amazing. So if I wanted to look at, I don't know, lean coffee, I could put lean in, and yeah, I get the lean events there, or the ones that mention lean. I'm hoping that, you know, when we get down the line, I could put Africa in. You know, and there'll be a lot of events on Africa coming up.
You have to click on the find events. It's not like Google.
Sorry. Yeah, there's nothing there. So there's no listing in the events diary for Africa. So I'm hoping it on the 1st of February, I click that button and there's, you know,
yeah.
How many African ambassadors have we got, Grace?
5.
5.
6.
6. Great. So 6. I put in Africa and the 6 events there at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got more than 6.
Good.
Yeah, we've got 3 from North Africa, 2 from West Africa.
Yeah.
We've got 2 from East Africa and 2 from South Africa. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is simple. Minimum you got to do 1 event. We've given you speakers, we've given you ideas for events, we've given you a guide for events, and we're giving you tons of loving and encouragement. And we're also here to help you.
Super.
Yeah, I really am hoping we can help. Yeah, we can help countries with this, and it brings ideas and it brings help. And also as ambassadors, you know, we really thank you for doing this. We could not without you.
Sorry, Scott. There's something else as well. Agile may have started in the US, but it's evolved across the world, and the world needs to speak back into it, because otherwise it will just always be one direction. We want to hear how it's being changed by culture, how it's being changed by businesses, how it's being changed by people.
It's like viruses, really. It goes around the world.
Well, that's a popular response.
No, I think, look, it's probably just early days on my side. I think I'm getting more and more understanding of where to go and what needs to happen. So I think it's just about executing.
Yeah, so
getting it going. That's it.
Yeah, so do one thing well. Don't waste your energy talking to 100 people. Right?
Absolutely.
Talk to the one person that you think will do something and make it happen, and then draft in as much support as you need.
Yeah.
And then when you've got one, do the next one.
Yeah.
I think on my side, I've been overthinking this thing. I don't think there's need to overthink it. I think the structures are in place. Everything is there. As you say, the support is there. It's just about getting in touch with the speaker and let's get going with it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm going to share my favorite book in Agile. Okay, again, that's a nice event. But like, you know, what are the best books in the last 20 years? And that would be an easy thing to do.
Chichi has an event for 29th of December in Zambia. So
yeah,
she just set up a meetup yesterday and creating a flyer for her already.
Brilliant. Yeah. No, and this talk's really useful, and thanks for being kind of open and honest, because in asking questions and that, people can watch this video and get a lot of meaning out of it. I'm going to try and find the best book in Agile. Probably the only book in Agile you really need to give to any client.
Fascinated to see what this is.
Let's see. this book here. Yeah, so behind there.
So the funniest book in Agile that made me laugh so much was the Phoenix Project, because I could feel the pain all the way through it. Because it's just like I've seen all of these behaviors.
So I was on holiday listening to the Phoenix Project on audio, and my wife told me to stop listening to it because I was on holiday and it just sounded like my work.
It was too depressing. I think there's a nice realization that someone else has suffered in the same way, and actually has managed to find a way around it. So that's why I liked it. But I was like going, I've literally said those exact words.
Yeah, so this is the book that I really like. Stop Starting, Start Finishing. I think it's only about 20 pages. It's really good. I've actually bought like 100 copies and handed it out to people. and again, I would really encourage, like, you know, all the ambassadors to do that as well. Just to focus on one event and then focus on the next one, rather than trying to do too much all at once and feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. And if you need me to come and talk to people, more than happy to. If you have an idea and you're a little bit nervous about it, you know, just message me.
Sure.
I'm back on Facebook now. I took a little bit of a break. I'm back on Facebook. I'm back on LinkedIn. So yeah.
So what is the lead time that our marketing team need? Are they saying we need 5 days ahead or 10? Is there any indication of that?
We're going to put a deadline of the 20th of January. So you really need to have your events up by the 20th of January.
No, I think he's asking about assets and support. Is that the question, or is it about when?
Yes.
Yeah. So at the moment, the turnaround's quite quick within a couple of days. But if every ambassador asks for something, then there's going to be a throughput problem. So I'm going to say we'll be flexible. It's, you know, we have Kate, who's fabulous, who's doing the work, but I can help her if necessary. And I'm sure there's other people who can help as well. So the point here is to ask.
Yeah, so Katie's asking Ash today for a email, because we were talking last night. We think actually emails are probably the best thing. So you can just email Katie, and what she wants to do is try and get people to use templates. So instead of like doing an artwork for you, she gives you a document that you can put your details in. Yeah. Okay. And that's going to be much quicker, and we can actually start pushing that out to the ambassadors as well. So yeah, you know, but if there's anything you need now, just contact Grace or Carl and I, and then pretty soon we're going to have a process out there, you know. But if you need something today, you know, go for that.
Yeah, and if you want those celebration animations in a local language, let me know, because I do them.
Okay. They're amazing. All right. I think we'll stop there. That's the hour up.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Really nice speaking to you today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Then bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.